So, Duel Links China finally has the Mind Labyrinth event I said we talk about in the video, and it is one of the best events I've ever played. So, let's dive right in and take a look and see if it actually is any good. So this is Duel Links China's version of the tabletop RPG event, but expanded, enhanced, deluxe, featuring data from Devil May Cry series, all that kind of shebang. And I love it. So here's a brief rundown of what happens in it. You need to collect 100 of these dark energy. Now you can only get 40 per day by doing daily missions like playing PvP, doing some standard duel lists, which is not great. You know, artificially limiting an event is not ever a good thing. But when your event takes 1 hour to complete one run, then I feel like it might be kind of justified. You do, on logging in, get 150 of these dark energy, so you can go in and after the first day basically do 1 whole or 2 whole runs of the event. So right now there's only Joey to go through, but I believe there's going to be Yugi and Mai by the end of the event. And what you do essentially is you take 40 cards with you. That's right, 40 cards. And for Joey, you can only take Warrior, Beast Warrior, and spell cards, which is kind of weird, but it kind of makes sense. And these 40 cards you can use to then go and enhance the AI deck you get given in the Labyrinth, which is really cool because over time, as you explore, you're going to get new cards, and you're going to be able to upgrade that deck with cards in there. And those are cards that we don't have in Duel Links in the China version, and some in Global. There's things like Slash Dragon, Paradise Fusion, Regeki, some really cool trap cards that bounces and burns. Like there's some really cool things in there that you can go in and build your deck with as you kind of get these cards dropped, which is really, really cool. Now, I'm not sure if you only get those cards for one run only, or if it's for the entire event. I've only done one run so far, but if it is just that one run, then it's fine, because assume you're going to be doing the same thing over and over again. The event isn't really overly difficult, but it can be at times. We'll show some gameplay, but so what do you do in the Labyrinth? Well, it is the tabletop RPG, so you go around your different corners of the board, and you land on different squares. If you face a monster, you can battle it in a duel, and after that you get given some of these Joey tokens, which you can then use afterwards to exchange at the lottery to get some really cool cards. Talk about that in a minute. But what kind of things can you encounter in the Labyrinth? Well, first of all, the monster duels, they are varying levels between 10 and 60, and they can have things and decks that are really difficult or really easy. It seems like you can get some duels at like level 50 that are really easy, and some level 10 that can be quite hard. Now, I think I faced things like Ice Barriers, Dimensional Fissure, the whole Banish deck, the new Gear Freed stuff that's in China's version right now. So they're trying to kind of push new things on you, and things that we know from Global that will be coming sometime soon, kind of onto you early, and so you can kind of face off against it, see how good it is, which is really cool. There's also these Blue Eyes bingo machines, which wasn't in our version, that you can use it to bet on increasing your score by a certain amount. So what I would do is I would bet 30 Joey tokens, and usually I would either lose by a little or win by a little, but your overall score would increase, and at the end of the event, you get, at the end of the run, you get Joey tokens based on the number of score you actually get as well. So all these things kind of add up. There's also a coin flip, which welcomes the Sand Gambler to the game, and this basically, you call this coin flip. You call it correct, you win big. If not, you still win. Like, there's no real loss here. It's just a free net positive in tokens, which is fine. Clearly, these are designed for people that want to kind of spend, want to go through every part of the event to get the most value out of it, rather than just speedrunning it, which you can do, but I don't really recommend it. There's also a dice, which you land on dice, you'll have a random dice battle between you and the boss. So for me, it was Yugi versus Joey, and if you win the dice roll, then you get more tokens. If you lose the dice roll, you get less tokens, just generating more fragments. There's also these random boxes, which when you land on one, will show a random related card event image, which in this event is 6 Samurai. So we had Legendary Ebon Steed, Anishi, all kind of show up, and again, you get a random amount of your Joey fragments. There's also the standard chests that drop keys and gold that you can keep forever. And there's also random cards you can collect, like in Tag Force, that you can use to update your deck. So there's crap stuff like Elixir Hunter, Generic Warrior Sport, to things like Raigeki, Paradise Fusion, Slash Dragon, and I love this. I love when when Konami specifically does this in Duel Links, where you can use cards you can't yet get in the game. And knowing how Duel Links is kind of going right now, and seeing the new support in here in terms of China, they seem to be pulling things from different periods of time and just like yonking them together. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Red Ice Fusion was coming sometime soon to the game, which will that'll be a fun time for sure. But let's kind of continue on. Now, every floor you face, you have to unlock the door, and each floor the requirements change. The first floor was to beat 3 monsters. You can do everything else, but the minimum is beat 3. Then it was, I think, defeat 5 and then get a key. The next floor was 8 monsters and 8 keys. And then the final floor is to beat Joey. It's pretty straightforward, but it does take some time if you want to do every single duel in the event to get the most Joey fragments, which you kind of want to do. So again, I took an hour, had some L's in that one, but you don't get, you don't lose anything for losing. So you can lose a monster fight and just immediately retry it. There's no kind of penalty. You don't get backed out for losing, which would have been kind of crazy, but yeah. So the Joey boss at the end, the guy waiting for you, is very, very hard if you are very unprepared, which the game does kind of want you to be. You are limited to bringing in Beast Warriors and Warriors, which obviously kind of is to sell the new structure, the Gear Free deck, but even with that, I feel like if your boss has the old 2003 Gear Free plus Smoke Grenade the Thief combo to mill your hand, or the Blast of Chain combo to pop a card on the field, I feel like you're going to lose. And that's not even just it. He then can go into the Gear Free the Swordmaster with Release Restraint Wave, or he can just sack into Red Ice Fusion, go into Slash Dragon, and then there's not much you can do there because his deck revolves around equips, and it's pretty tough to kind of beat him in one go. So you do need to get kind of lucky, but it took me 3 or 4 attempts to beat him, and yeah, once that's done, you are done with the event. You're done with one run of the event, which, an hour of game time is pretty good for a quality hour of content. And once you're done, you then get some Joy fragments based on your score. And this score can then go to a global leaderboard to compete against solo or team players, which is cool. But the real big thing is the event rewards. Now, look at this. This was all stuff that came in main and mini boxes for us. Red Ice Wyvern, 6 Samurai stuff, all these things came via paid things. This is a free event that you can get a 6 Samurai core from just by playing. Grandmaster, you can get the 6 Samurai one that draws 2 cards. Like, it is crazy how good, how valuable the early events in Duel Links China has been, which, you'd think they wouldn't go and directly copy what Konami in America did, but, in Japan did or whatever, but this is a whole new level of event, I feel like. It's really cool. Now, it is the reward lottery system, like we have for the Turbo Duel GP right now, which I'm kind of enjoying it. It's alright, but you can get gems, keys, and then card packets, which has either guaranteed super ultra rares or rares normals, and you can also exchange your cards in a card trader, or your fragments you get from the lottery, to get those single cards. And I believe you could do it more than once. So it's not like R1, where you're limited to only like 1 copy or whatever of each event card in the trader. You now have access to every card in multiple copies, which is really, really good. If you do get unlucky on the lottery rolls, then you can just go and buy the cards you want, and given the amount of Joey fragments I've been given to spend in the lottery so far, I feel like it's going to be very free-to-play friendly for you to go in and just, play the event as many times as possible and come out of it with every single card guaranteed, even if you do get really unlucky in the actual lottery. So, I love it. I feel like this is one of the most fun events I've seen in Duel Links in a very, very long time. It's been a blast to play. This is just one round of it, an hour, and I am looking forward to seeing if they do change things up. If Yugi and Mai are coming in this version of the event, then do they bring any other rewards that are different? Because if they do, then this could be a very cool event concept that I think they could use in Duel Links, in Duel Links our global version, or in the Master Duel game to kind of give us some very, very good PvE content. So let me know down below what you think of the event. I'll leave some gameplay to kind of round out the video if the video isn't over 8 minutes, you know, gotta get the algorithm stuff, but yeah, thanks for watching, I'll see you all in the next Duel Links video, see you then.